Good day, good people. Next week, it's Great Big Green Week, a project organised by the Climate Coalition, which is the UK's largest group dedicated to action against climate change. The coalition includes over 140 organisations, including the National Trust, the Women's Institute, Oxfam and the RSPB, representing some 22 million members. Their aim is to reach across the United Kingdom to show our love for all the things that we want to protect the earth from climate change, and to ask politicians to put aside their differences and commit to doing whatever is necessary to protect them. In the paper and email bulletins this week, you will find information about how we're planning to mark the week. We're promoting a speaker event on Wednesday the 28th of September at St Aidan's, Brunton Park, organised by Just Stop Oil, a campaigning group which encourages direct action. This session is aimed at Christians, and I hope that some folk from St Francis will be able to go and find out what they are suggesting we might do to help in the campaign to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. Meanwhile, we're going to do a walk and litter pick along the Ousburn on Sunday, the 2nd of October. We'll meet at the church hall for a picnic at 12 p.m, on the field if it's fine or indoors if not, and then our local councillors are providing litter grabbers, and we'll set off walking via Paddy Freeman's and Jesmond-Dean, then Armstrong Park, and when the river becomes culverted, going overground to the City Stadium and then down into the Ousburn district and ending where the river meets with the Tyne. The cycle hub is conveniently located at that point for refreshments before we walk home or get the bus from Shields Road. There's a sign-up sheet in church for this, or contact Jenny Germain, whose contact details are in the notices in the bulletin. Jenny is also the contact point for our Francistide Ceilidh, which will be the evening before, Saturday the 1st of October from 6 p.m. We're looking forward to welcoming the whistling sheep and to the opportunity to dance again. The challenge of tackling climate change remains as urgent as ever, but because it is a global challenge requiring action over decades, it's very hard to get a sufficient handle on how we can play our part in a way that feels meaningful. The current rises in energy costs will certainly be making all of us think twice before we put the heating on in the coming weeks. And this week, the PCC heard that for heating the church, we anticipate a 4 or 5-fold increase in the cost, from about £3.55 an hour to £19.50 an hour. We're waiting to find out what the impact will be of the recently announced government support for businesses and charities, which might mean that the rises will not be so great. But we will need to brace ourselves for having to budget for some rises and be ready for the church not to be so well heated, which means making sure people wear warm clothes, including hats, possibly offering hot drinks before the service starts, and aiming to have shorter services. An alternative might be holding smaller services in the hall, which is cheaper to heat. The PCC will next meet on the 3rd of November, when I hope the situation on charges will be clearer. Meanwhile, this week the PCC also received the quinquennial report from our new inspecting architect, Sarah Harrison, and the good news is that there are no urgent, costly works required. But over the next 5, 10 and 15 years, we will need to undertake an overhaul of the windows, the roof and the heating system. But I believe that this is achievable, and we will have the joint benefit of reducing our use of fossil fuels and developing our church and hall for future use as places of worship, community and service. And I hope that this is a vision that you will want to share and support. One final thing. Can I also commend to you the bereavement journey? a 6-session course which will start on Wednesday the 5th of October for anyone who would appreciate the opportunity to consider the effects of bereavement and loss. You might feel that this is not for you, but perhaps you might know someone who would benefit from it. Full details can be found in the paper and electronic bulletins. May you have peace and all good.